Hi everyone, my name is Karina and this video series is about my volunteer experience in Africa. If you haven't seen the first video where I talk about how I decided to go there completely alone, I highly recommend you watch it first. I spent a month at a volunteer center in Kenya that supports homeless children, and I would love to share with you what I learned from this experience. Let me tell you more about it. Homeless children are among the most vulnerable social groups in the world. And in Africa, this issue is especially acute. According to Human Rights Watch, an estimated 30 million children live on the streets across African countries. Just think about this number for a moment. 30 million children. And it's not just a statistic. Behind each number there is a real child with a name, a face, a voice, a story. The reasons why children end up on the streets are complex. Poverty, domestic abuse, the loss of parents, armed conflicts. The streets are what's left when there is nowhere else to go. They leave home in search of food, safety, or just a way to survive. Instead, they find hunger, illness, violence, and exploitation. A lot of volunteer centers work to provide these children with medical care, education, and emotional support. So I spent some time at one of these volunteer centers and I had the possibility to talk to these people who dedicate their life to helping these children.
Our project is called Our Children in Africa, and we have been working here for 10 years. When I first arrived, it was right after the Civil War. People were scared, weary from violence, and overwhelmed by stress. We came with the vision of building a school and a church, but those who controlled the area immediately told us, "Get out of here! This is our place!" But we could see that deep inside, people were longing for transformation. They were tired of living in such conditions without food, without any opportunities, and so little by little we began to help them.
My mission is medical assistance. We regularly organize mobile clinics. We travel to different villages and for 1 to 2 days provide free consultations and medical care. We also run a free school for children from the slums and a rehabilitation center for street children called Embrace Street Child. Here there are many dysfunctional families. Children are not just poorly cared for, they are not cared for at all. They can spend the entire day on the streets, playing in the dirt, with no one thinking of feeding them or dressing them properly. Medical care is practically inaccessible, and because of this, many children die from diseases and infections that nowadays are easily treatable.
Several times a week, we go out onto the streets to talk with the children. We tell them about our center, about how we want to help, and we invite them to join us. In the center, they can stay permanently, sleep, eat, take a shower, wash their clothes, everything they cannot do while living on the street. Many children come to us carrying deep pain and feelings of rejection. We want every child who comes here to feel and know that they are loved, accepted, wanted, and believed in.
In Kenya, nearly half of the urban population lives in slums, in the poorest and most deprived conditions. These are clay huts or houses made of trash, a wooden frame covered with plastic bags and waste. There is no electricity, water, or sewage system. People fetch water from open sources, which is why they often suffer from infectious diseases. Domestic violence is very widespread. Children can be beaten even for the smallest misbehavior. At our clinics, we often see children who come with serious signs of abuse. Because of this, many run away to the streets. They may have families, but at home they are either beaten or not fed. and they feel better living on the streets, begging or trying to earn something.
We sleep on the floor. In the morning we wake up, we don't have breakfast. We go, we found somebody. We work for him and he gives us money.
Living on the street means waking up with no certainty you will make it to the evening. Once we went out early to give some food to these children, and it's very hard to imagine how a morning looks like for a child living on the streets. But try. You open your eyes on the floor, a cardboard or bare ground. Next to you are other kids. It's safer to sleep together. Living on the street means growing up too fast. You're no longer a child even if you're only 7. You're your own doctor, security guard. You're your own parent. Living on the street means surviving. Each morning the race, where to find food, how to earn some money, whether to steal or maybe just search for something to eat in the trash. And if nothing works out, you go hungry. And unfortunately, many kids use drugs to escape the pain.
You come to embrace? Yes. What? When? When? Leo? Asubuhi. Asubuhi. For sure. For sure. Sawa sawa. I will wait you. Sawa? Okay.
He doesn't
Czeka. Sama chapati.
On the streets there are their own laws. And almost from the first months of life on the street, they are taught to sniff glue. Here, this is the main drug. In recent years, marijuana and pills have also become freely available, though we are still trying to find out exactly what chemicals those pills contain. Almost all children who end up on the streets become addicted, and if they are not pulled out of this cycle, most do not survive even into their teenage years. Glue sniffing is especially destructive. Toxic substances immediately affect the brain, bypassing the liver. After just a few years of use, children develop dementia and severe disorders of the central nervous system. Homeless girls are almost never seen on the streets. This is connected with local marriage traditions. A groom must pay a bride price, dowry, which depends, for example, on the girl's level of education or even on how many languages she speaks. So if a girl is orphaned, relatives or neighbors usually take her in, because in the future she is seen as a long-term investment.
After living in such harsh conditions, it's hard for them to trust anyone, even volunteers who truly want to help. Going back to school becomes also a challenge. Many of them don't know the basic, have trouble focusing, and find it hard to follow rules or routines. Things like schedule or authority can scare, especially if adults in their past only caused pain or fear.
And they take me to embrace, and when I come here, they tell me rules do not. I don't have to fight and to come here with glue.
I don't solve the problems for them, because when you solve a problem for somebody, it is like rescue. You are rescuing that person. He will not develop the muscle to think. He will not develop muscle to reason. So I help them to solve their problem by themselves. The answers come from them, the solution comes from them. So we don't give them advice like, do this, do this, do this. No. We ask them now about this problem. What do you think we can do? What do you think you can do? And thank God the answers come from them. I help them to set goals. I help them to set their own goals, and I ensure that they have achieved those goals. And it is not easy. It is difficult for them sometimes. They break away. Sometimes they leave it in the middle because it is tough for them. Even if the environment will not change, even if their homes, their families will not change, but they have power, they have will to make good choices, to make good decisions that will develop them, that will grow them, and probably later, after 10, 20 years, they will go back to their families and change everything. Yes.
Each of them has their own story, pain, personality, and as all of us, in deep need to be loved. Some of them are already taking their first steps toward a new life, even if it can be hard or slow. But when someone is there to walk beside them, it becomes possible. Volunteering taught me a lot. I've come to understand that life isn't black and white. It's full of shades, contradictions, quite beauty and quite pain. And often when we give something, we receive much more. Lessons in humility, in resilience, in love. The presence is powerful. Sometimes just being there, listening, caring, is already enough to make a difference. Of course, we can't fix everything, but change often begins small, with noticing, with not turning away, with a simple question: what can I do?